watching this week's show with Dan and Mike.
This week's show podcast.
Back once again like the renegade master.
Every time I hear back once again, that always, like, the rest of the line pings off in my head.
Yeah.
Like, even just the word insane.
In the membrane?
Yeah, every time. There's certain things that just always set me off.
Boom, boom, boom.
Shake the room.
Everything they way up.
See, the manager's got it. That's the one I was thinking of.
Hey, baby. Ooh. Ah. I want to know. Oh, if you be my girl. That one gets me every time. Somebody says, hey, baby, it plays the rest of the song in my head.
But whoop.
There it is.
Trick Williams.
Or, no, that's whoomp that trick rather than oomph.
It's the same thing, though, isn't it?
I mean, have you noticed that they're doing it and he's not even on the show?
Yeah.
I got to be honest. Out of the three that came up, Oba, him, and Siobhan Evans, he's my least favourite out of the three. I like Oba and Siobhan a lot more.
Oh, yeah, same here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think this happened to me in Heidi, when just before you started watching, is the Motor City Machine Guns tag team came in, and we were like, where is all this confidence coming from, just being main roster watchers? And then it turns out that they're actually like a TNA tag team for 20 years, and that's why they have such presence.
Okay.
And it's the same with Trick Williams. I just haven't watched him become Trick Williams in NXT. And I think the reason why I don't like him very much is down to one very, very small but funny detail. I don't think his finisher is at all good for a dude of that size. It's a lazy jumping knee to somebody's face with his name involved in it, called Trick Shot. It's as bad as Jey Uso's spear. Come on, people. Like, it is. It's like Yeet, though. He's popular because there's something that people can chant.
But Jey Uso has just won the least popular wrestler of all time.
Overrated in 2025.
That was it.
Yeah.
But welcome to the show anyway. We're back. Dan's still under the weather, but not contagious anymore.
No, I worked out that I was just basically, I had all the symptoms of a cold, but I actually worked out, and I'm going to be completely honest because we talk about mental health so much. I was just burnt out. Like, the first thing that I think set me on this path is realizing I didn't take a holiday in 2025. All for the very Dan-shaped reasons. The van was broken, needed to fix the back of it. So I was like, I'll fix the van first, then I'll go on holiday. And the van is halfway fixed, and I never went on holiday.
You don't want to go on holiday now. We're into something like day 85 of non-stop rain in the UK. I
mean, there is part of me that would actually really enjoy going away in a storm, because you know the amount of
That's
times I'm down the beach.
for one night, though. You don't want to spend...
Oh, no, God, like, the proper van life is out there, because inspired by van life, I've done my own build in the back. It's bespoke to me and all of that sort of jazz, but I have so much respect for people that live in vans constantly with no base, because it is hard work. Admittedly, my van isn't tall enough for me to stand up in, which does make a bit of a problem for me. But even ones that are tall enough for people to stand up in, until you actually get out there, and I've done 7 days straight in the van, and by the end of it, I was still quite comfortable. I could have probably gone a couple more days, but I was also very happy when I got back home, and it was like, okay, normal bed, normal sounds, because it's the thing that you don't think about, is there's different things happening outside your van every single night because you're parked in different places.
Foxes and...
various things.
Actually, I've got a fox in my garden that comes in regularly now.
Nice.
Yeah.
In love with your cat a little bit?
No.
No, I was going to say...
All the hood cats are, like, surround it, like, but from far away. Like, you've got one on a shed roof from 2 gardens away, just like... But it's not a baby fox. I'll show you photos later.
Nice.
It's a big old fox. I mean, looks like it should be, shooting a bow and arrow.
We actually had a thought the other day with Leo, my cat, is there is a chance that he actually fought off a fox trying to get in the house the other day, because the noises...
Urban living is...
I was going to say, the noises I could hear did not sound like cats in distress. It sounded like a fox.
I say urban living, right? You're quite rural here. You
edge
live
of
on
a village.
Edge of a village, but I really am.
Well, you're edge of Exeter, but you've got the whole of the city on the other side of you.
One side is, city. The other side is just fields for miles.
I mean, you've got the balance of village and city life by the fact that you're literally on the edge of the city.
I am the divide.
But yeah, just the other thing, I've already shown you the picture. But nothing, like, wanted a cat for years, absolutely years. And I forget some of the consequences of having a cat that, especially at his age, because you've got an old lady, I've got a young boy.
An old lady? She's a full-on pensioner.
Whereas I've got a teenager, and I kid you not, by the time I got downstairs to see what he had brought the family, because he likes to contribute, that's why they bring stuff back.
Of course, yeah.
But he had turned a bird inside out to the point that the only reason I could tell it was a bird is because there were still claws attached to it. And
mini talons.
Yeah, and I still don't know where the rest, like, so that was the body, and then there was definitely no neck or no skull. There was just the beak left on a different part of my staircase by my dear cat. And yeah, that got the gorge rising, very much retching, and I will quite happily hold my hands up and say that I actually got my dad to deal with it. Because my dad's quite elderly, so he lives with me, so I can look after him, and I'm taking full use of him because he doesn't mind. He's like the opposite of you.
Well, he grew up in that era.
Well, he also, like, out of all of his siblings and classmates, he was the one that, like, would dissect the animals. And
I wouldn't do that.
And now I'm saying he's the opposite of you.
Oh, okay, yeah. I get you now. Sorry.
He got introduced to carcass and went, "Yes, mate. Let me get involved. Let me pull the entrails apart."
I've been a veggie since school.
Since a certain trip to a certain place, I believe.
No, I was a veggie before that, but then as part of my catering course, because I'm a qualified chef, part of it, if I wanted to graduate, I had to do the butchery side of it, because it's all well and good making pastries and cakes and potatoes, dauphinoise, and
all of that sort of stuff.
Turning mushrooms. That's a technical phrase. Turning mushrooms. It is. Those that know.
Those that know, yeah.
Yeah, if you've watched The Bear. But I had to go to an abattoir to, from farm to fork, as they say. And I had the from fork bit and the from farm bit, but it's the middle bit that we didn't understand. And
yeah.
If I wasn't vegetarian beforehand, I would have been afterwards. And when I graduated, I was the only vegetarian with a butchery qualification.
I mean, I delivered to one every day in lockdown, and
Stinks.
I had to prepare myself for being on site, because if you've never been near an abattoir, dear Lord, like, the smell, the only place that has a worse smell, and because of working for the local company and it being something that I'll use a language of what people understand, not what school system I went through. So primary and secondary, because obviously we had the weird system in our hometown when we were growing up. But essentially, one time in primary, one time in secondary, twice at work, I got the fun of a day out to the sewage treatment plant.
Been there, done that.
Yeah, and that is the only smell that's worse than an abattoir. Because
close to that smell of an abattoir is if you go to an old school butcher's that has the sawdust on the floor to mop up blood.
Yeah.
But I have thought on many occasions that I could make a very good serial killer's buddy, because I could bone a body quite easily. I've still got my chefing knives, the proper boning knives and things like that.
And you don't like people, so...
I don't.
No, animals he likes, doesn't want to eat them, but people, fine. One of those moments that probably won't make it through onto social media.
Oh, you never know, We've got the foundings of a horror story here, haven't we? By day, he was a humble podcaster. By night, the butcher of Devon.
See, I worry about one of my students, because...
Only one of them?
Yeah, only one of them so far. But he's the one that is quite Dexter, because he's training himself as a investigative forensic scientist for crime scenes.
Nice.
The only thing that's in every...
Fascination with blood. Tox reports.
A little bit. He's actually an incredibly fascinating kid to talk to, because to be that young and to know that's what you want to do. But his was based similarly to what I was saying about my dad, is that dissecting things never bothered him. And then he's like, I've never got bothered by horror movies. I've never got bothered by surgery on TV. It's like, it just doesn't, like, my brain doesn't compute the disgust. And he's like, But I wanted to put it to good use, so he's like, I thought I'd be a forensic like crime scene investigator. And the good news is, though, is he is about the size and stature of our manager. So
Okay.
he's
So quite easy to bone and
well, he would be
dissect
quite
and-
easy to burn. I can't imagine that he would find it that easy being a Dexter, where he creates his own crime scenes.
I see what you
Yeah,
get at.
surprise, mother
Well,
trucker.
There's always the sulfuric acid baths.
I mean, the thing is we live in Devon. There's a lot of pig farms here.
There are.
There's a lot of pig farms here. This is not the podcast I thought we were going to record.
No, considering you're on your deathbed last week and I was sharpening my knives.
But no, we wanted to check in just because it does feel a bit crappy to leave it a couple of weeks without putting anything online. But I am just in a bit of burnout at the moment. And for anybody that feels the same, it's normal life that burnt me out. It's having a job that makes me think a lot and does terrify me from time to time because I'm a driving instructor. So I can go, like we were talking about this the other day, I went like 3 months without a near miss. And then in a week I had like 10 near misses. And like my brain just like, I can't sleep if I have too many near misses back to back.
Plus it's that time of year as well. It's still cold and gloomy and it has rained for every day since 2025.
And that does take a level more concentration for people that do driving jobs or like an instructor like me.
Or just
It's more work.
No blue sky. You need that vitamin D, man. It's
I even take the tablets to try and catch up because I get the seasonal affective disorder really, really strong. But it's that whole thing is chemical versus a lot of natural stuff. Not in serious things, more like supplementy things. The natural is always going to be better. So if I was out in sun, and as soon as the sun comes back and it's festival season, I will naturally brighten
God, I hope
up.
it comes back before then.
It will. It will. Like, I believe in this as much as I believe in Joe Hendry.
Okay.
But yeah, like, I have to believe, because we've done enough brown loads, drown loads, whatever they get called, that I don't need to do another one.
Well, yeah, hopefully it's going to be wet enough this winter that it makes it nice and dry for the summer. It's El Nino.
Yes. I also just want to get my van done, go out on a holiday. But you know me, I will go out if it's nasty weather anyway and still get away for a couple of days because it is fun. I really want to do the thing that probably most people would think is a bit weird and stupid is if there are really aggressive waves again, go park the van right by where you're getting splashed and then just fall asleep.
I did that a few weeks ago. You can see it on my personal Instagram.
Yeah.
It was, lively. Especially in a van because...
you got more of a buffer from
well, you
the
got
wind.
the buffer, but it's the shingles and the little stones that go... It sounds like a machine gun as they fire. Some of them are proper big stones in some of the beaches here. And, they make dents and...
Do you remember though the brown load where the rain was so thick and fast that both of me and you like compared notes the next day and said that like it actually got into like the audio phasing thing where your brain starts getting a bit weird because of the sounds that are being put into it. The rain was coming down so much. This is when we had I did tenting with him. And it was like, I remember my brain getting a bit loopy because of the sound of rain on top of a tent was just making my brain spin out a little bit.
Sometimes the sound of rain on a tent is very cathartic.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just...
Same with the van is that it depends what it is. Because when I've stayed underneath just normal rain, pitter-patter, fine. When I was away on a holiday that I did, I was in a lay-by, but I was underneath a tree. So I had the leaves that would drop, massive ones, and they did half the time sound like some copper had come up and knocked on the side of the van, like, what are you doing this lay-by?
But sometimes it's nice just to like leave the bedroom window open and you're all snugged up in bed and the heat blanket's on and you're fully enclosed in your duvet and you're just lying there and listen to the rain in the dark, just like...
I mean, that's my everyday for the last 80 days because I've got the skylight that I have to keep open to let the smoke out. So...
Not that you're smoking in bed.
No, who does that?
And whilst I'm pointing, like, subscribe and hit the notification bell. Ding!
That was a very energetic leg. I appreciate that.
You almost didn't because I was took your kneecap straight off.
We do have to cover one thing which was mildly upsetting, I imagine, but that was, real life sports rather than pre-scripted sports. And that was the fact that, unfortunately, the Patriots
had a brilliant season, considering it was season 1 of the rebuild. They managed to get themselves all the way to the Super Bowl.
I was hoping that was going to be where your head was at, because I didn't want you to lose how proud you were of the fact that they got... yeah. But there is still something to the fact that they had lost their OGs, as you say, rebuild. The fact that they still got to the Super Bowl is a success in itself.
Yeah,
it's
I think that pissed off in a lot of other teams.
Oh,
it's
of course.
The fact that, they shouldn't be in the Super Bowl for another couple of years, because the rebuilds, everyone's got to bed in, you solidify the team and get all that jazz together. And,
I would say to those other teams that are complaining, up your game.
Yeah, raise your game.
But it's a bit like, even though we hadn't been in the final as the UK football team, soccer team, for years, at either the Euros or the World Cup, when we got to the final, people still said that we didn't deserve to be there. It's like, come on, people, it's been since '66 that we won something massive.
Let's see what happens this summer. I believe there's a soccer World Cup happening in America, but not all the teams are allowed in the country.
True.
This is going to be interesting, because some of the games played in Canada and some in Mexico, I believe. It's the America's World Cup, not just America. Our Lord and Master, Sir Donald Trump of the planet Earth, has decreed that some countries and people from those countries are not allowed into his country, which will be interesting, considering FIFA gave him a real award for was it the Global Ambassador of Peace or something or other?
Fuck off!
And then
I don't normally swear, but
and then he won that, and then a couple of days later he went and got his Navy SEALs to go and pull the president out of Venezuela.
It's like giving Elon Musk an award for being the best person to survive poverty.
He has won that, to be fair.
But this is why we don't tend to talk politics, because it does not... He knows this. It does not take me much to get really, really wound up about things.
I just mentioned DJT and your blood boils.
I mean, at least we're past the point, I drove everybody loopy when it wasn't Labour in charge of the UK, but to be honest, I'm getting as disappointed as everybody else with that as well.
It's all just repetitive.
Different shades of absolute shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's 2 swears now.
I know. This is why we don't do politics on the podcast, because I just get angry and then I can't articulate myself because I'm too wound up.
And I'm just quite happy living in my own little bubble. Go and, watch our podcast, do my podcast, do my radio show, listen to the radio show. That's it. I go to work by myself in my van for 10 hours a day. Then I go home and it's just me and the cat. The only other people I see are you and the boss.
Yep. I go for trying to just affect as much positive change in my tiny little world. So my main thing at the moment is trying to make sure that all of my young male students who've maybe not ever had any conversations about it being okay to feel big emotions and stuff like that, at the moment, that's my little positive effect on the world, is any...
Well, I'm trying not to be butchered by your serial killer Dexter.
Yeah, that too. Yeah. It's either... to be honest, I'm worried that student's going to start working with Leo, my cat, and it'll be a pincer operation between the two of them. And then, because Leo probably, like most cats, if I was dead, would then feast on me.
We'll find your nose over there.
Yeah. It is quite beaky, to be fair. But yeah, I'm pretty confident that's going to be somehow the way I end up dying is something to do with the cat. Mostly, I think, not an aggressive move. I think he's going to do his usual thing of trying to rub between my legs as I walk downstairs.
Oh, mine does that.
Yeah, and that's going to send me ass over tit, to be honest.
Which is why, because I live by myself and no one ever comes round, I always, wherever I go in my house now, I've always make sure I've got my mobile phone on me. Because if I slip, trip or fall, that's it. No one's finding me until next Saturday when Dan comes around to record a radio show. And if it was last weekend, there would have been no radio show at all because you didn't pop round because you were ill.
And that's only if you also completely change a habit of a lifetime, you leave the house unlocked. because you leave it locked the whole time, and you have to unlock it for our arrival. So I could get to the house, but then
You've got a spare key.
Oh yeah. It shows how much I don't think about breaking in. The fact that I forget that
You're my ice man.
I mean,
and not the bad ice.
To be honest, I have keys. I have keys to the houses of both of you. And this morning, I scared the shit out of our manager because she had left all of the food that we had prepped her for the day at my house. I'd gone home last night, and then I came down. Sorry, I was like, "Oh, you tithead." So there's no word of lie. I made my first student drive me to her house so I could drop it off, but she wasn't answering her phone, so I just let her in so I could, not waste the student's time. And then a very disorientated Heidi suddenly was like, "What are you doing in my house?" I was like, "Food, I'm going, leave me alone."
Thing is though, now you've admitted you've got keys. If either of us end up dead and dissected by your student, you've teamed up with your student. Instead of them crying, going, "Oh, I didn't pass," it's like, "Please make me pass, and we can go on a killing spree together." You've got the van. You've got the van. You've got keys to a house, and you've got a.
Well, no, don't forget the van does look like I've just abducted somebody as well.
Yeah.
It is known to most people as the abductor because it genuinely does look like a van that you go and steal somebody.
Well, it's the fact that down the side it says, "I have sweets, puppies, and kittens." And you hit the horn and it starts playing Green Sleeves like an ice cream van.
I mean, I'm not going to question what the previous owner did,
There is a weird smell you just can't get rid of.
Yes.
It smells like an abattoir, right?
Well, it's because I like to, hunt and hang them in the back. No, I'm not going to. No, Christ, no.
Been longbow hunting with Joe Rogan, have you?
No, I tend to do like the really overly staged fake hunting that Bear Grylls does.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I have a production team that finds the animal for me so that then we don't waste too much time with me hunting it. I think my favourite Bear Grylls bit of lying was when he was showing like he was jumping over a volcanic channel and like making a big deal of it. And then somebody went to where he was, and then they just panned the camera 90 degrees, and there's a road, like, only about 50 metres away. I was like, that's some great sauce there, like, framing it to make it seem like it's away from absolutely everything, and there's a road just behind. Can you imagine walking down that road, watching Bear Grylls trying to make it look like it was really interesting?
Well, it's like how they film Spider-Man climbing up buildings. It's just on the floor.
Yeah. Oh, amazing.
We're ruining Hollywood now.
To be honest, I don't think we can ruin Hollywood any more than some of the people that have...
Hollywood's not in Hollywood anymore. They don't make films in California. It costs too much.
No, they make it in Chinese AI instead.
Perfect.
Yeah, no, that's terrifying. We were talking about this before the podcast started. Obviously, we had the AI podcast where we were saying, it's incredible that they can do a band and it sounds like real. But now, and we both said that we'd seen the same one, which is Wolverine facing Superman, and Hugh Jackman, not just a Wolverine,
Wolverine,
the Hugh Jackman Wolverine, and Henry Cavill having an actual fight, and it looks like something that was filmed, and that's terrifying to me, because we remember deep fakes becoming a thing, but you could still at least find out whether a deep fake was a thing or not. This is just getting more and more absurd. And, it's fortunate at least that it's the billionaires of the world that are in charge of it, because I understand them to be quite down to earth and for the people.
Yeah. Very much so.
So happier things.
Go check out my interview with Newfound Glory.
So they've been doing a hell of a press circuit anyway, haven't they?
They have, yeah.
But
say happier thing. Well, it is a happier thing interview, but the subject matter is a bit dark in places.
The interview was dark, but it was a career moment for you because he enjoyed you as an interviewer so much that he called you back, was it?
That's correct, young Chad.
So that he could carry on chatting to you. And like I've done a bit of reviewing of it because I had to bash the pieces together.
Well, normally these Zoom ones, you have like 20 minutes.
40 is the limit on Zoom as well, yeah.
But for interviews, I mean, like you have like 20 minutes before you have to wrap it up. So we were just chatting and I hadn't looked at the time at all. Normally I'm like, I've got to start wrapping up this interview. And the Zoom just cut out. I was like, oh no!
And then that feeling of lockdown came back in where you had social time in 45-minute Zoom windows.
That was it, yeah. It's like, shit, what happened? Was a power cut? No. Laptop's okay, everything's okay, connectors were okay. Oh, we've been chatting for 40 minutes. And then I'm like, trying to email the agent to go, like, oh, we just timed out. I'm so sorry. There's no wrap up. And as I was writing out the email, he calls me back, and I'm like, oh, I don't know what happened. There he goes, oh, I think we probably just timed out. And he carried on
straight back in, didn't he?
Yeah, he knew exactly where he was. It's just like, but it's a very heartfelt and in-depth interview into someone that's going through 5 years worth of different cancers whilst writing a kick-ass album. And it is a really good album, the Newfound Glory album. It's called Listen Up. It's out now. Do go and give it a listen, but more importantly, watch the video, because it's the full interview, whereas on the radio show just could not fit it all in.
Not even without me talking on the show for a week.
Yeah.
But also, I do want, for anybody that is going to do this, it is the other channel that we run. So we have this week's show podcast that you're watching now. It's a channel called Mike James Rock Show. Both of the things are down below for you to do a like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. But the one thing I do want to shout you out over is this is not the first time that you've had this type of positive response from somebody talking about this type of stuff, and you've never had anything akin to training over how to do this type of interview. It's just something...
DIY till I die, baby.
Just something that comes up. I'm thinking, obviously, the Hatebreed one was another one like that as well.
Yeah.
And you've done ones like this, but I think you're just very, very good, especially if they're more of a peer than, sort of, say, like a super young artist or something like that.
Well, yes, more the fact that Wayne from Hatebreed and Chad from Newfound Glory are pretty
Around your
much
age.
within about 5 years or so of the same age as me, and I'm like, well, that could happen to me. That could happen to me.
I mean,
oh shit!
I know what you mean. Especially with the sad news about Brad Arnold, that's his name, isn't it? And James Van Der Beek as well.
Both in the same week.
Yeah, and I hate using the thing thoughts and prayers, but I know there's some controversy over the ranch mansion and all of that sort of stuff, but a family of 6 kids and a wife has still lost their father and husband, so don't be nasty online. Whereas for Brad from 3 Doors Down, I genuinely have not seen quite the outpouring of love that came for him. Is everybody said that he was always the most humble, down-to-earth, lovely guy. And then,
you interviewed him, didn't you?
I mean, that's what I posted about, because it was the year that we were asking everybody what the mosh pit meant to them. And he gave me, to the date, the best answer ever, is a mosh pit is like a beam of light filled with love and positivity connecting me to the audience. And it's such a beautiful answer. But the one thing I love is, obviously, a lot of footage comes out when somebody dies of them playing live on stage. So it's like him with Leonard Skinner.
Yeah.
That really emotional performance in the rain. I can't remember which festival it was, but...
Oh, it's bound to be in the UK if it was raining.
But the one thing I just love about the dude is he always, like, his on-stage presence, his presence in interviews, wherever it is, he always just seems like somebody that's a bit confused that people like him and that he's in a really popular band. Because he was just, chill. I'm in a band, I do a bit of singing. I even remember watching an interview where he's like, I feel like a bit of a fraud. He's like, because there's these fantastic singers out there. And he's like, and I got a nice voice. He's like, but I look up...
Imposter syndrome, isn't it?
Yeah, he's like, I look up to so many people. And what I love about that is I don't think he realised that that was one of the reasons that we loved him. And I love 3 Doors Down. They were one of my college bands, not necessarily gateway, because I would always say Limp Bizkit and Linkin Park were my gateway bands into heavier stuff. But he was definitely like, I have so many memories attached to so many of his tracks.
I'd imagine there's going to be a few tracks played at festivals this year. I'm thinking probably Slam Dunk. There'll be a few bands that might do some...
I mean, there's some
covers.
Absolute bangers. Like I know it's not the most popular, but my favourite by 3 Doors Down is Be Like That. And I think it was on something like American Pie or something like that, which how it got into my processor.
More than likely on one of those type films. There was a lot around that time, wasn't there?
I mean,
that was the last proper era where soundtracks kicked ass.
Well, if you think about American Pie, obviously we've done a lot of work with Thomas Nicholas, who played Kevin in American Pie, and he was the one that always said, like, the actual soundtracks to American Pie 1 and 2, some of the best, like, because there's even I Want You Bad by Offspring in there and stuff like that. The Fray, so many good bands of that era just happened to be, as you say, featured. And it wasn't one track as, like, you know, the Titanic with Celine Dion was just a one-tracker. Same with Armageddon and Don't Want to Miss a Thing. Yeah. Teen movies just had banging soundtracks.
They did.
But do you know what TV show I think, talking about soundtracks, was very ahead of its time? Because they even incorporated the live show into the storyline of the show itself. It's Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah.
Is they would get the bands that they actually had on the soundtrack come and play the Bronx, and often they were much bigger than the size of band that the Bronx was able to put on, but it was so that you had genuine artists playing there.
Yeah.
And I still love the original actual like soundtrack where it's got, you know, Buffy and Angel on the front of it and all of that jazz. There are some absolute corkers in there of tracks.
You just don't get it nowadays, do you?
In fact, the last soundtrack that I fully got into is from a cartoon, Final Space.
Okay.
But it's because the music that was produced for it is actually really beautiful. And I listened to that as part of my sleep playlist. But there was a couple of really, really good tracks. And they weren't like massive artists. They were just, you know, what fit the moment. But if you remember, I talked to our Home about this. Because they were on Avocado Records, and I made a weird comment about how does it feel to be on a record label that has the same name as a character from Final Space.
All right.
Because I never checked with them first, but I just knew they were nerdy enough to be Final Space watchers. And they're like, oh yeah, no, it's a great show. It's like, you're watching it, it's so great, it's so funny, and then it's just so sad. And that's because of a track called Enter One by Soul Seppi, I think. And it's just like, a character dies in the thing, and then the track that they chose to put against the scenes where it happened, like I was sat there like I'd been laughing 5 minutes before, and then I was just bawling my eyes out.
Perhaps we should do a podcast on soundtracks from movies, because I can think of a few that are absolutely amazing. Like Judgment Night. Judgment Night.
I don't.
It was a mashup between hip hop artists and metal.
Interesting.
So you had like Metallica and Fear Factory were on it and things.
Fear Factory did a track for the original Saw movie, Bite the Hand That Feeds.
Yes.
Yeah.
But then there's also, I really like the soundtracks to Kill Bill, because RZA from Wu-Tang did it.
There's also really weird examples, like, do you remember Old School with Will Ferrell? And suddenly, like, when they're doing the recruitment for the fraternity, it's Master of Puppets.
Yeah.
And that was really strange at that time to have a thrash metal band where the track was 20 years old being like the thing used, but it suited the moment so well.
Judgment Night, sorry, not Judgment Day, that's wrestling.
And T2 as well.
Yes.
But I mean, funnily enough, if we're talking movie soundtracks, we can't let Download headliners Limp Bizkit pass without the fact that they reworked the Mission Impossible theme tune into Take a Look Around, down, 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 down.
Yeah.
But weirdly, what a lot of people don't realise, because that track got so big, is Metallica actually did a track for that one called I Disappear. If you watch the music video for I Disappear, James, Lars, I think Jason was still in the band at this point rather than Rob, and Kurt Hammett all get put into Mission Impossible style scenes, and they're running away from helicopters, and then they intersperse movie scenes as well. But if call me out in the comments, because I might be wrong, but I'm pretty confident it was Tom Cruise that said that he wanted heavy music, or he wanted heavier bands to do the soundtrack
Well, I'm
for the
just
second
thinking
movie.
the three headliners for Download this year have all had
Movie soundtracks,
because Guns N' Roses, I can think of two, Terminator 2, and James Bond.
Yep.
And then Linkin Park is Transformers.
Like the first four is all linked, because that one, at least definitely What I've Done and New Divide was movie 1 and 2. But yeah, Limp Bizkit, obviously we just said was Mission Impossible 2. So yeah, no, I reckon there could be quite an interesting podcast around which bands you'd be surprised actually featured on a soundtrack for something, as well as the ones that you would already know, like we've mentioned.
Yeah.
Because like, one thing that makes me laugh, have you seen the meme? And it's not like an AI reworking, it's just a clever, slight recutting, but it's the Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring. If it was made in 2006, which is when Transformers was really popular.
Okay.
And instead of it doing like do-do-do-do-do-do, it starts playing What I've Done, and it ends like a Michael Bay movie instead, and it's utterly brilliant because they barely change any of the footage. It's just how much difference the soundtrack makes.
Triple X.
Oh, what a movie back in the day. I mean...
Had Rammstein in it.
In it, actually doing Firefly, I remember now.
But it also
Holy
had
hell.
Hatebreed were on the set list as well.
Not another teen movie.
Oh, not another one.
But the actual first big parody
Yeah.
wasn't from the Waylands, because that's one of the only ones that wasn't from the Waylands. That launched Chris Evans' career as well. Good Charlotte are the prom band that everybody dances to, and they don't do Good Charlotte tracks apart from one, I think.
Nice.
But they're doing classic prom tracks instead. And it's hilarious because it's back in the era before they became gangsters and they still look like skaters. If you don't know, when Good Charlotte first came out, they looked like skaters and surfers. And at some point, both the twins just hulked out, tatted up. And I defy you to tell them that they're not the scariest pop punk band in the world now, because they look like proper units.
Oh, we'll do that at Slam Dunk, shall we?
Well, actually, the funny thing is the last time that they were there, do you remember? I wound up Public City a little bit because they were, everybody was trying to get to Good Charlotte, so we couldn't get an interview, nor could we get a selfie. So I decided to take a bit of a piss take selfie, which is, they were on one side of the press area, I was all the way on the other side. And so I go to take a selfie of it, and just as I take the selfie, the PR turns round and just gives me the most devastating evil in the world. And we love this PR, by the way. She is one of the most lovely human beings and a beacon of just resilient human being. But what I love about her so much is later that year at Reading, maybe even the year after, I can't remember.
Jacoby.
No. She brought a member of Good Charlotte over.
Oh, yeah.
And then she's like, show him the picture. And I was like, what? And she's like, I know you've got it on your phone still. Show him the selfie that you took. So I had to find it. And then he was genuinely very, very tickled. He's like, you're the other side of the press area though, dude. I was like, well, she said not to bother you. I was like, and I love her to pieces, so I'm going to respect anything that she asked me to do. I was like, but I thought it would be a funny way to get a selfie. And he's like, right, we're going to do a proper one now. And that's how I got my selfie with Good Charlotte. So treat people with respect. You never know. Because I never asked for it. Genuinely didn't ask for it. And it was the same with Jacoby. It's because we had never asked for the time with him. We just get introduced because apart from, I think we got a bit fanboy over at Gamble at Bloodstock. But we generally don't...
Ed Campbell.
I know. We generally don't get too starstruck when we're around people. The selfie game was actually just to wind each other up for a fun reason. I nearly got beaten up by Maria Brink's security, bodyguard. He genuinely went to punch me in the face.
And I won because I got one with Ice-T.
You did not. I got Maria Brink. We'll leave it up to you guys to decide, because we've never settled this. I say I've won. He says he's won. He didn't really get
Maria
beaten up.
Brink's here. Ice-T is stratospherically higher.
At some point in his career, but not at that point.
It was.
He's in breakout. I'd say leave it to the crowd, I think.
Who's playing Bloodstock and who's not playing Bloodstock this year?
I mean, that's not helping you.
Ice-T is.
I know, but it's a 15,000 cap festival.
So?
I mean, that...
Where's in this moment?
Probably playing a bigger one on mainland Europe.
You both win because you have a selfie with me.
Okay, a manager says we both win because we have a selfie with her. I think somebody's getting a little bit of an ego.
Dude, that's AI. We should wrap that up then.
Yeah. So next week we're probably going to jump into, because most of the qualifying matches for Elimination Chamber are going to be done by that point. And get into some predictions. He's going to kill somebody else's career. And you never know, the broccoli head bitch might get into it. That was one of the best insults. I also love the fact that LA Knight's new t-shirt, Unchosen, for everything that's going on with him at the moment, the amount that we talked about it on the podcast. I really hope he gets a push, because in the same way that Jey Uso got a big push last year off the Rumble, I feel like LA would do better than Jey did at the top level. But there are so many people that are going to be interesting to watch, and that's why predictions next week should be quite fun to do. I think we get most of the qualifiers done by that point. There's maybe one left on the SmackDown after our show, but we can wing it. We can wing it.
Maybe.
Either way,
Joe Henry's going to win the entire lot.
and I'm just happy because Javon Evans is in Elimination Chamber, so we're going to get some high-flying stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for joining for just a little catch-up, and we'll be back with our predictions, as well as we've been hammering out a couple of themes for when we don't have other stuff to talk about. And also, one last thing.
Yeah, because there's no NFL for months.
Youngblood just dropped an album, and guess who managed to get the first like on the picture?
Didn't drop the album, dropped the announcement.
But he was literally sat on Instagram.
Yeah, literally.
Saw it come up.
Refresh, couple seconds. It said, oh, yes, Idols 2's coming out.
First like on the post. Obviously, the algorithm or the actual network may have had like 1,000 people like it at the same point that you did, but when you liked it, there was no likes. And then
I was the very first
we
like.
were the
It's the
very first
Mike
like.
James Rock show.
Yeah. So, Youngblood, you're welcome.
Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and Youngblood, leave us a comment.
Yeah, no, we want you to come on our podcast. And the funny thing is if he actually saw it, he probably would, because he's that much of an OG. So...
Well, especially after the Molotov's impersonation, which you can see on our Instagram as well.
Yes, yeah, that is either...
Fucking love him. See, I swore.
First time ever. But yeah, join us next week where hopefully I don't have to run outside, because I kid you not, I am still in such meltdown that this has made me very sweaty. So what a note to end on. It's not the first time I've had to end something because I've got far too sweaty.
Time to change your drip.
Yeah. Till next time.